Welcome to everyone out there. We have another exciting facilitator for the Future of Strengths Forum, and I love our next guest. I have been connected to Tiffany for a few years now. She actually was part of the forum last year as well, so some of you might be familiar with her too. I'm going to let her introduce herself in a moment, but one of the things I love about Tiffany is that I think my ideation can spread an amazing idea, but man, you give something to Tiffany and she will take it to a level you didn't even know it could go. So I absolutely love her creativity and just the way she sees the world. And so I'm very excited to have her back facilitating again this year. She's one of the few repeat facilitators that we have. And I know her session was really enjoyed last year. So Tiffany, thank you so much for being here and being a part of this again. Love your support. Why don't you let everybody out there know a little bit about who you are, where you are, and what you do in life?
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. And I had a great time last year, and I'm really excited to be back this year. Um, and the idea thing, I mean, that's what happens when all five of your top five are in strategic thinking, right? Like that's all I do is it's kind of a party up in my head all the time. So I definitely don't sleep, but that's that's a different event,
That's
right?
probably a combination of things,
Yeah,
right?
that's a whole other thing. But I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, my name is Tiffany Fleming, and I am a coach and consultant. I have a business called Build Your Bench Coaching. And my business specifically focuses on building up both newly promoted managers as well as uh, that sort of mid-level leader of manager up to director or people who are brand new to leadership. That's a crucial tier of leadership in most companies that gets a lot of the work, but gets the least amount of development. And they encounter the most employees every day. They are the lens through which most employees see the culture. And they are also the most burnt out and the most turnover and things like that. So I come in to a small and medium-sized business and try to supercharge that tier of leaders to help them re-engage, energize, up their innovation, their productivity, productivity and creativity, and really help them drive the business forward. Especially in a time of, economic uncertainty, you really want people to stick around. And so this is about investing in those folks. It's a passion of mine to get those underdeveloped folks really working for you. So that's really what I do. I'm currently in California. I may be relocating, but still on the West Coast. So I'm a West Coast girl for sure. So I'm over here, and I'm looking forward to the session and to our conversation today. Anything else you want to know?
No, I can only imagine teams going through a workshop with you are definitely going to leave highly engaged and energized. I
It's a
can't
lot of
imagine
fun.
it any other way, to
We have a lot of fun.
be honest.
We do, and
Yeah.
I use strengths as a big tool, but I also use other things too,
Yeah.
because I'm trying to coach psychological safety, also in coaching skills. So
Right.
what I like to bring is I like to help managers know who they are through their strengths, and then the principles of psych safety and coaching, so then they can really manage based on who they are and adapt those coaching techniques to their own themes. And it really helps build that safety and that trust on their team because they're being themselves.
Yeah.
And it opens up their team for them to be themselves. And then that opens up, sometimes I can go in and then yes, do a team workshop. But those are always like so much fun.
Yeah.
We and as I will talk about in my session, spoiler alert, I get a lot of my ideas from AI. I get a lot of workshop ideas from my AI. And
Yeah. And I
so,
love that you're going to be doing your session on AI and keep going with that because I want to hear what you're going to be talking to us about. But
mhm,
this is something I know, especially last year, I was doing a lot with AI, trying to get coaches comfortable with it, right? Because I
mhm.
think there's still some, to some degree, there's some ambivalence. To some degree, there's also, we're still lacking in maybe the acceptance of AI. And I know there's a responsibility factor. I know there's a privacy concern. I know there's a lot of
Yep.
things that coaches still have
Mhm.
questions about when they're using AI. So talk to us a little bit about what you're going to be sharing with us.
Absolutely. I am going to be talking about how AI can be really your co-pilot. I don't even think of it as like a tool that you use like some of the other tools. I really do think of it as a teammate, co-pilot, co-worker.
Does
I,
yours have a name?
does what?
Does
Mine?
yours have a name?
Well, I tend to use Google's Gemini the most, so I just call her Gemini, and yes, it's a girl.
Oh, fair enough. I call mine
But
GPeat. I use ChatGPT a lot, so I call him GPeat.
exactly. So I know Deb, one of our other facilitators, calls it Chatty G. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so I know we all have names for them. But yes,
I was just curious.
I just call her Gemini. I just say, hey, Gemini,
It's kind of
what are you doing? Seems like a cool name anyway, you know. But I'm going to be talking about um like addressing some of our concerns. Like what are the things that we struggle with and why are we ambivalent and what is, what's a barrier to that? And to talk about how you really are in charge, but this tool is your co-pilot. We will also be talking about, specific ways you can use it for session prep, even for support during a session, as well as creating some personalized resources for the team. One of the tools that I use that integrates Gemini is Notebook LM, which is another Google product. But I create a notebook for either individual clients or for a team, and I store all the reports in there. And based on what the team is trying to accomplish, I will pull in resources that fit that. I will design the workshop in there so it's all housed there. And I can also share that with that team, and so they can have those resources, themselves as well. So I'm going to talk about, building a quote second brain, if you will.
Mhm.
But to what you said earlier about addressing issues, we are going to talk about coaching with a conscience and creating an ethical framework for using AI as well. We have a little acronym and everything, like a real
Of
session.
course you do.
I have an acronym.
Of
Uh,
course you do.
so uh, we will be addressing those concerns and about creating that framework. And then I do have a special takeaway for my folks as well. So little
Mm.
resource I'm going to give,
Oh, I guess they'll have to register to find out what that is.
little teaser. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Um, I love that about AI. And for those of you, for any reason, if you can't attend Tiffany's session, she's also going to be on our panel. We will have a panel discussion on AI, which is much more open, fluid, Q&A style session where you'll get a chance to really ask your questions and see what's going on. We've got some great people participating on there. Deb Haas is going to be on, Aisha Nyanku. So we got some really great people. Got one last question for you. And I know all five in strategic thinking, I might frustrate you a little bit, but you have to pick number 1 through 5. The question I can tell you has something to do with the future of strengths, but pick a number and
The
we'll
future of
let you
strengths
know.
forum or just in general, the future of strengths?
It's much more general, not the forum specifically,
Okay.
but
Okay.
much more general.
Okay. I'm really feeling the number 3 right now.
Awesome. So, in a world where strengths is a shared language, what becomes possible?
You're killing me.
Well, this is the philosophy behind everything I do
I
with
do, but
practical
I'm saying my brain
strengths.
is exploding. Exploding.
Is that because you have
Uh,
7 ways you can go with that question?
yeah, I could go a million different ways.
Well, pick 2 of them.
Um,
Pick 3 of them. I don't
oh
care.
God.
I
Wow.
have strategic number 1 also. I can never give you just one answer to a question. So
But
by all
yeah,
means.
this is neurospicy plus strategic thinking equals explosions of
Eagles.
synapses. Synapses firing everywhere. Um, what's possible if okay, say the first part again. If
If
we
strengths becomes a shared language,
uh-huh.
what becomes possible?
On what scale? Global? Are we talking about within an organization, within a
You
family?
can talk about your family, you can talk about your neighborhood, you can talk about the world. You can make it as small or as big as you want it to be.
Well, you're freaking me out right now. I'm gonna probably make it medium sized because I work with small and medium sized businesses. That's where
Okay.
I
So,
see
how could
most of
businesses, what's possible in a business if the
yeah,
entire company shares a
yeah.
language? What's
If
possible
I'm
there?
talking like a small to medium sized business, which is what I work with, and I've worked in all sizes, but that's sort of my sweet spot. Um, what I see, what's possible is uh cohesion. I see I see such an explosion. Well, explosion is not, I guess, the right metaphor for safety, but you know what I mean. Like I just see a mushrooming growth of psychological safety, which PS, people mistake for feeling, quote, good and fuzzy and comfortable and nobody upsets me, nobody makes me mad, and I feel safe. No, no. The
No.
opposite is true. Psych safety is about being able to actually speak your truth, and not obviously be a jerk about it, but be able to, have a candid conversation and be okay.
Right.
And so when people know themselves and know each other and have that common language, there is that foundation of psychological safety there, because I trust that the way that you are sort of adjusting or customizing your language to me and to who I am, and I'm doing the same for you. And
Yes.
I understand the things that might set you off, and I understand the things that make you feel safe. And so I'm going to make the choice to make you feel safe so that we can get more done, so that we can do better together. Um, I see less turnover, I see more engagement, I see innovation, which is so important. I mean, all those things are really set off when you have psych safety. And I really believe that foundation for that psych safety is knowing yourselves and knowing your team, and then working together in ways that honor who each other is. There's
I love that.
probably some really bad grammar in there, but I think you get the idea.
No one is grading you. No red pens are
Thank
present. So,
heaven.
no, but I love that because, again, that goes along with the philosophy of why this forum is happening, why practical strengths exist, is that idea. And I frequently will say that strengths can build confidence and tolerance at the same time. And tolerance just meaning that we are more gracious and compassionate with one another.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to have to tolerate you.
Yeah.
Not that kind of tolerance, right?
Right.
But there is a certain piece of it that those things that occasionally annoy us about someone,
Mhm.
I go, oh, that's
Yeah.
their
Right.
intellection. That's their achiever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I know where that's coming from. It's not about me. And it may still be annoying, but at least I know why it's happening. And it's not malintent. It's whatever they need
Right.
at that moment for safety. Because I do think part of our psychological safety comes from our talents, and we may go to the dark side for our own safety, which
Mm-hmm.
doesn't necessarily have the impact externally that we're desiring. And so being able to recognize that, I think, is really important too.
Well, a big thing, a big barrier to psych safety is our own internal biases. And to say that the goal is to eliminate biases is to no longer be human. Like that's not possible. We aren't, the
Right.
goal is not to eliminate biases, but the goal is to mitigate them and notice them when they're happening and correct them with the right information. So
Right.
what this strengths in common language does is we can approach someone, and should we, if we are tempted to immediately assign a negative motivation to their behavior, we can, with awareness, stop ourselves, use that prefrontal cortex that we have, and stop ourselves and say, this sounds like a bias speaking. Let me use the information I have about that person, which is these are their strengths. And so this is the way they're operating. So they're not doing something intentionally to upset me, hurt me, bother me, whatever. They're acting according to their wiring. So I'm going to approach them that way, and we're going to try to come up with a win-win solution.
You said that. I feel like there's somebody out there in the strengths world that talks about strengths as like our operating system. Do you
I'm
say
sure.
that?
I don't know.
Is that like, I don't know who that is. I hate saying something and not knowing who it said it, but as soon as you were talking about that, I'm like, I feel like someone has related strengths to like our
Mm-hmm.
internal operating systems, like if you're iOS or Android or that kind of thing, like
Mm-hmm.
you have your
No,
particular skills
that's
anyway.
that's exactly what it is, because um it is your natural way of being. And so the way to create psych safety, first for yourself and then for other people, is to understand those internal biases and say, right now I'm assigning a negative connotation or motivation or whatever to what this person is doing. However, I'm going to intentionally reframe this situation based on what I know about them, which is their strengths and how they see the world. And so I can reframe that and correct my own assumptions, and ultimately the interaction will go better.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I think you did fantastic for being spontaneous.
Well, thank you. I do my best. I do happen to be a good pivoter. I'm very good on my feet.
I
I
am
have
sure.
been, I have been leading workshops and I will have been told there's a particular issue or goal. Middle of the workshop, it comes up that, oh no, that's not it at all. There's other things. I'm sure you've been there as
Oh,
well.
yes, absolutely.
So
I have
we
a general
pivot.
plan, but I've got options galore behind me because you just never
Absolutely.
know which way you
Queen
got to
of the
go.
options. Even if
Yep.
I don't have an option, I'll think of something quickly.
You'll
So
find one.
I,
Yeah.
I'm a good tap dancer. As a musician, I can't tell you, as a supporting musician, I can't tell you how many songs I've learned on the stage in the moment.
That's impressive.
I just kind of follow the leader person since I'm just the harmonizer, and I'm like, oh, okay, I just jump in and it's fine. But I could do that. That's no problem.
That's amazing. Yeah, I don't think I could do that, but that's
You
amazing.
could. You probably could.
So thank you so very much. So everybody out there, if you have a chance, be sure to register for this Future of Strengths Forum. It's October 2nd through the 4th. It's 2 half days and 1 full day. We have 5 speakers, 5 panels, lots of workshops, networking that's built in. We've got events leading up to it with some thematic networking. We've got a foresight workshop afterwards that's completely free to attend and learn how to use foresight tools. So as long as you're registered for the forum, which after August 31st is $197, but you should still be able to catch that early bird for just 97 if you get in now. But other than that, I hope
It's
you'll
gonna be
join us.
epic.
It's worth it. You get all the recordings. So even when you
Mhm.
can't go to a workshop, you've got access to recordings. And if for any reason those dates conflict, there's a recordings only package and you can still come to the foresight workshop with us. You're still welcome to come to other events. So please, I do hope you'll consider this and we look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for doing this event and thank you for making it so accessible. I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you for always being such a huge support. I appreciate it.
Love it.